In December, Bangladesh went to the polls, with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina securing a landslide victory. She said she won on the back of Bangladesh's impressive economic record and a decade of growth. Her opponents say she stole the election.
We are rejecting the results.
While international monitors accuse her of silencing her critics and muzzling the press.
The gagging of the media, the extrajudicial killings, the disappearances.
So, is Bangladesh becoming a one-party state? And whilst hosting over 1 million Rohingya refugees fleeing Myanmar, how long can and will Bangladesh protect them?
I'm Mehdi Hassan, and I've come here to the Oxford Union to go head-to-head with Gauhar Rizvi, the International Affairs Advisor to Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and a historian and former academic. I'll challenge him on whether democracy is dying in Bangladesh and whether his country should be doing more to help Rohingya refugees.
Tonight I'll also be joined by Tasneem Khalil, a Swedish-Bangladeshi journalist and author of Jallad, Death Squads and State Terror in South Asia. Saida Muna Tasneem, Bangladesh's High Commissioner to the UK and Ireland, and Abbas Faiz, a South Asia analyst at the UK's Essex University who previously worked for Amnesty International for more than 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gauhar Rizvi. Gauhar Rizvi has held senior positions in universities around the world, including Oxford, Harvard, and the University of Virginia. He's worked for the Prime Minister for a decade, and his role is the equivalent to that of a cabinet minister. Gauhar Rizvi, following your party, the Awami League's recent landslide election victory in December, it does look more and more like Bangladesh is becoming a one-party state, does it not?
I'm surprised that you would say that. This has been said earlier by a number of people.
So it's not that surprising?
No, but I'm surprised that you said it.
Okay.
Because as one who has studied politics, you will understand that just because a party has been elected 3 times, it is not a one-party state.
The reason you're being called a one-party state is not just because you win lots of elections, as you say, many parties do that. It's the margin by which you win. Just to be clear, of the 300 seats contested in the December election, how many seats did your ruling coalition win in Parliament?
288.
288 out of 300?
Yes.
How many did the opposition win?
Well, let me put this question to you.
288 to 7?
Let me put this question to you differently. Give me one good reason why the opposition should have been voted into power. They did not have a manifesto. They were ambivalent whether they will go into an election or not.
So you're comfortable with a 96% of the seats? That's what you want?
Yes.
Sheikh Hasina is now winning the kind of percentage victories that Bashar al-Assad and Kim Jong-un win. 96%.
Right.
You're comfortable with that in a democracy?
No,
you're fine with that?
No. I think the comparison is totally irrelevant. Here, there was 39 political parties contested in the election. Free and fair elections took place. Large number of international observers were there who saw it for themselves. Who would not vote for a government which has performed so brilliantly by any count? And if you want me,
there are many brilliant governments and they win 50, 60, 70%. Okay, you say it's a free and fair election. Let's deal with that point. As you know, the European Union has said there were, quote, significant obstacles which have tainted the electoral campaign and the vote. Transparency International studied 50 constituencies in Bangladesh and found serious irregularities in 47 of them, including fake votes, ballot stuffing, voters barred from entering polling stations. The BBC have footage of a stuffed ballot box in the port city of Chittagong. Are the BBC and Transparency International just making this all up?
One of my closest friends is the head of Bangladesh Transparency International.
Okay.
So I'm not going to impute any...
So then deal with the report, 47 out of 50.
I would like... the Election Commission found irregularities in 15 or 19, I forget the exact number of polling stations. And when you remember, there were 40,000 plus polling stations. So if
But here's what I don't get.
15 or 19...
It's not that it's 15 or 19, it's that
irregularities.
your friend's organisation looked at 50 seats and 47 of them turned out to have irregularities.
I am yet to
That's
see
funded.
the-
I can't do the maths off the top of my head, but that's like 95%. It's like your margin of victory.
No, it
Isn't the
happened.
problem that Human Rights Watch describes how opposition members have been arrested, killed and even disappeared in the months running up to the election? There was a, quote, atmosphere of fear. 150 opposition members were arrested just 2 weeks before the election. Surely that cripples your election campaign if the government keeps arresting your members.
These were people who committed arson and killing in the months of January to March 2015. After that, they went underground. They hid. At the time of the election, they resurfaced. There were allegations, criminal charges against them. And so when they resurfaced, they were arrested.
Well, I just want to deal with some of the people you put criminal charges against in the opposition. You said that a man called Mintu Kumar Das, a Dhaka BNP leader, was charged with blocking a road in September 2018. The problem is he died in 2007. Isn't this embarrassing for your
Of course
government?
it is embarrassing.
You're throwing criminal charges at opposition members who are dead.
You know, when such charges are made, it is embarrassing. But one knows that in police investigation, in many societies, especially in developing countries, often have these shortcomings.
It's not just the opposition that have been on the brunt of your government. The media have had some issues, I think it's fair to say. Let me quote you. You said civilization cannot flourish without freedom of expression.
Indeed.
Censorship never works, which is a good line, but in practice there have been numerous examples of media crackdowns. Perhaps the most famous case is that of the photojournalist Shahid al-Alam, who was dragged from his house by police after documenting a student protest in August and then criticizing your government on this channel, actually, on Al Jazeera English. Sheikh Hasina, your Prime Minister, described Mr. Alam as, quote, mentally sick. Do you think he's mentally sick, or is he just a journalist trying to do his job?
Those who are familiar with the media in Bangladesh will know one thing. It is free, it is vigorous. Shahid al-Alam was not arrested for appearing on Al Jazeera and making a comment. He was arrested for spreading disinformation which was inciting violence. Shahid is my very close friend.
Shahid al-Alam told reporters outside court in August that he was beaten so badly by police that his tunic needed washing because of all the blood. He was jailed for 107 days and said he was tortured. Is that how you treat your friends?
Listen, I have not said a word about his treatment. All I have said is Shahid is a close friend of mine, and when he was arrested, I took it on myself to make sure that he was given proper medical treatment. His family was able to carry food for him.
Okay.
And
why do you need medical treatment?
Well, not because of the beating that you said.
You're denying that he was beaten by the police?
I did not deny that. Because I cannot deny it because I do not know what happened.
Okay.
All I am going
Is your
to say...
friend mentally sick?
No.
Why did the Prime Minister say he's mentally sick?
I have no idea about that. I don't know what she had in her mind. But if somebody spreads disinformation, which endangers life, which incites
What was
violence,
that disinformation, just before we move on?
That there were several people killed and whose dead bodies were hidden in Awami League office in Dhanmandi. Women were raped. No, just wait, don't say no.
Hold on. Even if it was false, you think it's worth